According to the New Yorker, how Mike Johnson went from relative obscurity to Speaker of the House. The Louisiana Republican is best known for leading an effort to vote against certifying the results of the 2020 election, not because of fraud, but on arcane legal grounds. On Wednesday morning, after House Republicans nominated Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana as their fourth candidate for Speaker in a span of 3 weeks, many in Washington were forced to admit how little they knew about the man who was about to be second in line for the presidency. The Republican Senator Susan Collins said she'd have to Google him. In a conference of bracing personalities, Johnson's relative amenity to the wider world was an advantage, trim and bespectacled with dark hair and a youthful face. He blends in rather than stands out. Democrats call him, quote, Jim Jordan in a coat, close quote, because of his history of taking radically conservative positions, especially on the 2020 election, which he refused to certify and presenting them with lawyerly polish. Hours before Johnson won the vote on the House floor on Wednesday afternoon without a single Republican defection, I asked a former senior GOP aide how moderate members could justify voting against Jordan but for Johnson. Their politics are nearly indistinguishable. Johnson, who sits on Jordan's Judiciary Committee, once compared their relationship to being like, quote, Batman and Robin, close quote. The aide replied, quote, have you ever heard of Mike Johnson, close quote. Johnson, a 51-year-old constitutional lawyer, came to Washington the same year Donald Trump did. He had served briefly in the Louisiana State House, but he was better known as an attorney pursuing conservative causes. Some people are called to pastoral ministry, he said. When he first ran for Congress, I was called to legal ministry, and I've been out on the front lines of the cultural war. As an attorney and spokesperson for the Alliance Defending Freedom, a right-wing advocacy organization, he appeared twice before the Louisiana Supreme Court to defend the state's ban on same-sex marriage. Within a few years in Washington, Johnson emerged as a trusted member of the party, an unflinching partisan combatant in a conference lurching to the right. Everyone likes him, the former aide told me. He chaired the Republican Study Committee, the largest conservative faction in the House, and joined Trump's defense team during the president's first impeachment. The key to Johnson's current standing among House Republicans is his role in the aftermath of the 2020 election. Trump's refusal to accept the result put his congressional supporters in a bind. Their base shared Trump's belief in the illegitimacy of the outcome, but privately, the party's top leaders admitted that the president was unhinged. Apostates such as Kissinger, who sat on the January 6th committee, have since been ostracized by the GOP. But at the time, even hard right Republicans, including members of the notoriously obstructionist Freedom Caucus, were uncomfortable in validating the vote. History will judge this moment, Chip Roy, the Texas Republican, said in a closed-door party meeting on January 5th. If a majority of Republicans vote to reject the electors, it will irrevocably empower Congress to take over the selection of presidential elections. To be continued. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender. Never quit.